This is the top of a tower that was built in 1915 for a newly married couple. And right in the top, it has like crenellated edges. This you can just about see the sea in the distance. And right in the middle of the screen now is Snowdon. It's just got a touch of cloud on the top. Okay, so I'm going to take you downstairs now. And it's got 3 floors. And even a little balcony. It's got an extra little apartment attached to it. Little shelf. This is the first floor. You can see these beautiful windows, which probably had mullioned glass in them originally. Beautiful old slate stonework. Just about a view of Snowdon from this window. Not sure if this was originally a fireplace. There's some wood stored up here. And then to get down to the basement, well, not the basement, the ground floor, you take the stairs outside, which are quite steep and narrow. And you come into the ground floor. These beautiful old wooden doors. And apparently people do come and camp out in here. It's all open, it's all unlocked. Again. Another lovely window. This is the front door, which actually looks like it's been renovated. It doesn't look original. Again, just about got a view of Snowdon. And the fireplace. Let's go and have a look at the other little tower. Oh, that's my friend.
Hello,
Jazz.
beautiful people.
Beautiful archway. How do we get into this bit?
This way.
Aha, wrong way. Aha. So I think this was probably built as it is, you see it now, just as a little decorative feature. We've got a little place you can come and sit and look out to the sea. If you've ever heard of Port Merion, where the famous pottery comes from, it's behind the woodland in the distance in that direction. So blessed to have this beautiful day in Snowdonia. They're pretty rare, and be able to see all the mountains and the views. Hello, Lola. There's always a surprise when I come here, isn't there? You're waiting your turn. Can I have a sniff? Go on then. Have a sniff. Oh, they take a bit of chewing, those things.
Yeah.
I'm just doing a little video. Hi. So this is a plot of about 40 acres and I've got 2 acres on here. This is 1 acre up here on the top and I have another one lower down. So I'm going to start removing some of these plastic guards falling over. I think the horses are rubbing up against them, and take the ones away where the trees have not survived. And then you can see there's another couple here where this oak tree is now doing really well, probably self-supporting. I can take that plastic away, and look how big this larch tree is. So I'm not sure exactly when I planted it, but I've had this land for 8 years, so it might be as much as 8 years old, definitely about 6. And there's another tree here. You can see it's doing really well. Look, it's even got an oak apple growing on it. So this is the pile of tree guards. I've either removed because the tree inside was dead, or because causing the tree inside to be growing at a slant because the tree guard had blown over. Or so I replaced them with short ones, or the short ones mostly came from trees that no longer needed them. So probably about equal portions of all of them. I'm not sure how many trees I've planted here. I think I planted a few hundred altogether. I did actually plant these just to act as windbreaks and to give a bit of cover and provide a bit of wood in the future to use for building or burning or whatever. And they've really come on. I mean, they all started off sort of, you know, the height of my leg. Look how tall they are now. Apparently they grow 2 foot every year. And there are some Scott pines in there which I did plant. Yeah, so it's doing pretty good. The larch are doing really good. There's a few larches. The oaks are doing really well. And there's a few hollies that are doing okay. So yeah, pretty pleased. It is naturally seeding with silver birch, which will take over. It'll colonise any wasteland. It's always the first tree to colonise. So there are quite a few of those just taking off by themselves, which obviously we encourage. Okay, talk to you again soon. Not sure. I don't think it is a buzzard. I think it's some sort of a hawk. Hi, so I'm arriving at my other plot of land now. This is actually my neighbour's plot. She comes regularly and she has a little bender and which keeps her tools. a little fireplace, and she'll come and be here all day and make tea. And she keeps her plot very clean. There's hardly any brambles on her plot. I am noticing though that her trees are not massively big. I think they're very exposed here. So if you can see that we're right on the edge of the 40 acres that we have up here, and this is the view. So I'm facing towards the coast now, which is about 6 miles away, and the Pembroke Hills are over in that direction. So I'm going to head up to my bit now. This is the easiest way to get to my bit because she's kept her bit clear. Otherwise I have to struggle through quite dense spruce, which again has just grown massively since I was here 2.5 years ago. Just more than doubled in height. Right, so I'll do another shot when I get there. There's a little bender and the view, and I'm probably on the boundary of my plot now. We don't have like strict boundaries, they're just pretty rough. But I know these are the deer guards that I put up. And if you can see in front of you, there's quite a long line of conifers. I put a double row of conifers up along the edge because this is the north facing edge and it does get really strong winds, and I wanted to create a bit of a windbreak. And I just can't believe how big they are. You know, they were planted 7 years ago. Some of them were only about 1 foot high. On the other side of them, which I haven't been to look yet, I planted a row of oak, so that eventually I'd have a row of oak trees as a windbreak, and I could take these spruce out. So I'm just going to move forward a little bit, and you'll see, I'll show you a couple of features that I have on this plot, which are a bit unique. I'm very fortunate. Oopsie, have to find our way along the old ridges. Oopsie, a bit wibbly wobbly. But I have a pond. So the guy who sort of lives here originally bought the land. He dug this out, and I'm very fortunate that I bought the plot that had the pond on it, and gradually it's starting to fill with water. In the summer now, apparently it has just a little bit at the bottom, but I mean the first few years I was here it never had any water in it. So it's very exciting to actually have water on my plot, because although as a whole site we do have access to a stream and a spring, it's way over on the other side and down a very steep hill, so a long way for fetching water. And you never know, in the hot summer months when this has got a bit more water in it, might be nice for a little bit of a dip. So I can see that quite a few tea guards are leaning over precariously and need straightening up. A little video from the other side of the pond, and this was in the foreground my camping area. You can see there hiding under that bush, there's some tree guards. I just left a little bit of equipment here, just non-perishable stuff. And I'm noticing that my little camping area, I mean, okay, it's really overgrown. It didn't used to be like this, so that all needs cutting back. But I noticed that this conifer tree here is really cutting out the sun from this spot. So that tree needs to come out at some point to give me that bit of sunny spot. But yeah, it's got a nice view though. And I'm doing my best to not put anything tall between here and the view, so that, you know, I have got a bit of an outlook. It faces west, so you get a lovely outlook on the sunset. Broom is doing really well and ready to be released. It's not far from the pond as well. This lovely alder from its tree guard, which it was absolutely filled to bursting. Whether it would have burst the wires that were holding it in, I don't know. It's right here next to the pond. Alder likes water. So I'm going to go and lop down some of the lower branches of the conifers to give the little trees in between a bit more space. So that's what I'm going to do today. So this big clump of conifers here I planted, and I planted them in sort of like a honeycomb cell effect. So I had several cells, I can't remember how many, at least 3. And in order to protect the trees I was planting in the middle of each cell, and I know I planted at least 3 apple trees, put lots of lime in because they don't like the acidic soil that the conifers produce. And as you can see, there's one there that's obviously doing well. I can't see anything else amongst all this lot. So what I'm going to do now is cut off some of the lower branches on these trees so that they create a bit of space underneath. Anyway, that's what I've been advised to do. So I found the other 2 that I planted. This one was really submerged in dense thicket and really not getting any light. I've broken off all the dead stuff. The roots are still attached, so I'm sort of hoping that now with a bit of light coming through, you can see I've cleared away a lot of the top stuff, so give a bit of light to come through. But that one will do okay. And I've come across the other one here, and this one is doing well. Look. So I'm going to lop off all the branches and the small trees around here and give it a bit of space. And these are my loppers, and they're actually working really well. Awesome. Well, it looks a bit of a mess now. I've just basically left all the chopped pieces where they are. They'll die off and actually be a nice bit of kindling next year. But I've liberated the 2 trees that are actually growing, and I found about 3 birch trees that were sort of pretty well hidden amongst it all, and liberated those too. I've taken down all but these biggest conifers, and as you can see I've lopped off quite a few of the lower branches just to get some light and air to the trees that have been protected without actually taking away their windbreak, because they still need some protection from the wind. So having done that quite successfully, I'm going to go and have a go at my windbreak on the northern border, see if I can clear a bit of that through and release some of the things that are growing in there. So I've just come across this little tree which was sort of leaning over in its tree guard, and I believe it's one of the hazels I planted. So I put loads and loads and loads of hazelnuts in soil. The mice got most of them, and but the rest did sprout. And I planted them all up here. I don't know how many I planted, and this is the only one I found. So exciting to have a hazel that's surviving. So I'm gonna wrap it up nice and cozy and protect it from any deer that might still come through, although I believe that the deer have gone, but you never know, they might be back. So little hazel, look how thin it is, so vulnerable. So I'm just about to eat some lunch, which you can see on the yellow box there, and then rearrange my van, putting these bags in the front into the back, and then I'm going to be heading off. It's been such a lovely day. You can see the blue sky, the sun shining, and virtually no wind. Really nice. And I've done at least the minimum of the work that I wanted to do. I haven't planted any more trees, but I have sorted out all the trees that I've got and made sure that they'll be okay until I manage to get back here next time, which hopefully won't be another 2 years.